Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 3 showcased us a live-action Bo Katan, which was dope, but it also previewed where we think the show is going, and it is going to be epic and insane. There's a war coming to Mandalore. Let's break it down. What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. Smash that like button. We also wanted to tell people that we're going to very soon start dropping multiple videos a day. And so in order to get all the videos, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you are subscribed. Okay, so yes, the third episode of Season 2 of The Mandalorian was absolutely incredible. I loved it. I thought the portrayal of Bo Katan in live action by Katie Sackoff was absolutely incredible. Now, there were a few fans that complained about the wig. I personally think that the wig looks great. I think she looks perfect. I think she's the best adaptation I've ever seen of an animated character into live action, and the physicality that she brought to it was amazing. I'm completely sold on live action Bo Katan by Katie Sackoff. I think it's brilliant. But beyond even that, it's like I was so hyped up for Bo Katan that I wasn't fully paying attention the first time I watched through the episode. Going back and watching it a couple of times now, I've noticed a few things that make me really believe that this episode heavily hints that we will be seeing a massive conflict between the Empire and Mandalore in a future season. And we can start with a scene that happens later in the episode when Bo Katan is interrogating the captain of the Grzanti freighter. She says, "Does he have it? Does he have the Darksaber?" And the captain responds, "If you're asking, you already know." Now, this is just a little line, but it implies something that fans had speculated about since we saw Moff Gideon with the Darksaber in Season 1, and that is that, yes, he likely took it from Bo Katan. Now, next, let's actually talk about Moff Gideon and the interaction that he has with that same captain a little bit before this scene that we just talked about. The captain calls to Gideon asking for reinforcements. Gideon is asking if the pirates that he's reporting are the same ones that have been hitting them recently. This means that Bo Katan and her group of Mandalorians or Night Owls have been attacking the Imperials all over the place and constantly disrupting their operations. And this is a fact that is brought up earlier in the episode by Sasha Banks' character as they are talking about getting onto the cruiser. So basically, Gideon knows exactly what's going on with these pirates, why they are disrupting. He likely even knows that it's Bo Katan, and upon realizing how far into the cruiser they have gotten, he says that he's not going to come rescue them, and he orders the captain to destroy the ship. Now, the reason he would be doing that is to deprive his enemy of having that ship for a coming conflict, because otherwise he would not tell the captain to destroy the ship, and he would be able to then recover the ship and bring it back to his armada or army. But he knows that as soon as those Mandalorians make off with that ship, it is gone and it will be used against him. He knows he is headed for war. And Bo even says as much. I mean, that's why she steals the cruiser. She literally says she's stealing the cruiser for the future conflict, for the conflict to come. And then earlier in the episode when they're sitting down at the bar, and I highly recommend everybody goes and watches this scene again if you don't remember exactly what was said. It's very important to, I think, what is happening in the future of the episodes and of the future of the show. Basically, Bo Katan just lays it out there, saying that she's going to retake their homeworld. Now, surprisingly, Din responds to this in his rebuttal is that Mandalore is cursed. He said that when the Imperials realized they couldn't rule it, they made sure no one would ever rule it again, meaning they may have glassed the planet or, destroyed it within the Great Purge and made it uninhabitable. And then Bo rebuttals in a very interesting way where she says, "Don't believe everything you hear." And she is hell-bent on going back to Mandalore and retaking the world. And she is basically saying to Din that the story he believes about Mandalore being completely destroyed is not true. Now, another interesting piece to this puzzle actually comes in episode 3 of season 1 when Mando comes into the covert and he's got all that Beskar from the Imperials. Remember, there was the big Vizsla sounding Jon Favreau likely cast Mandalorian, and that guy challenges Din by saying, these are the spoils of the Great Purge, the same people that fractured our world. I forget the exact word that he uses, but our world was fractured by the Empire or something to that degree, and now this coward shares table with them or something like that, meaning even back then Death Watch and those people, well, maybe they're not Death Watch, maybe they're just the Watch at this point, which is a whole nother thing we got to talk about, but essentially it is possible that those people the people that raised Din, they truly believe that the Empire glassed over Mandalore and that you can never go back to it. It's uninhabitable. And it's even possible that the galaxy at large believes that the galaxy at large believes that Mandalore was glassed by the Empire and that it's an uninhabitable world, which would explain why the New Republic isn't going out there, isn't really trying to help those people or trying to investigate whether Imperials would be there, because they think the world was destroyed. And I think we will come to find out that that is a lie, that is propaganda put out there by Gideon and by agents that he has used, and that this Imperial army or armada or whatever it is that he has access to has made Mandalore their home world. And I think this would really explain where the show is likely to go, with a massive conflict, maybe involving a lot of different characters that we're now establishing, trying to fight on Mandalore to finally rid out this Imperial seed, whatever it is with Gideon, whatever he has going on. Likely it is on Mandalore. And there's yet another piece of evidence for this, and this comes by way of comments from Giancarlo Esposito when he was talking about the Gideon character. There were these comments he made about wanting to rebuild a world and the confidence that he had to be able to do that. Now, a lot of people believe that he's talking about Mandalore. A lot of people believe that Gideon may have some blood ties to ancient Mandalorians, maybe even Tar Vizsla himself. I mean, the show's called The Mandalorian. We start out with this sort of adopted Mandalorian brought in as a refugee, so to speak, brought into the warrior culture. He's told that Mandalore as a planet is totally gone. Now he's meeting other Mandalorians and the rightful ruler of the actual Mandalorian planet, and they have different rules. They're not religious zealots. They take their helmets off, all of these different things, and they're arming up to take back their homeworld. This puts Din in a really interesting position as a character, and I think that's awesome. I hope this thread isn't just completely let go of. I hope that Din is curious about this and begins to want to know more about Mandalore itself, because again, with things like Boba Fett, Bo Katan, and Din Djarin all being like big players, not only for this show, but potential spin-off shows as well in the Filoniverse, it would just make sense that the thing that will tie all of these characters together will be to unite and take back Mandalore. And they all have differences, right? But it's kind of what Bo Katan said in the episode last week, where she said Mandalorians are stronger together. And it's really cool because I think she's going to literally be the person to bring some of these iconic Mandalorians back together to then liberate and also rid the galaxy of a big Imperial infestation. And I'll tell you this, man, as this show gets better and better with their digital effects, with the scope of things they're able to accomplish, and even as the Filoniverse gets bigger, as other characters are introduced like Ahsoka, Sabine, Ezra, Thrawn, Boba, Rex, Hera, Syndulla, etc., etc. As all these characters get established more and the show gets bigger in scope, man, I'm getting excited. That really feels like some next level Avengers Endgame level stuff. And here's something that's really interesting. There were some comments made by both Jon Favreau and by Bob Iger that had this weird thread of like, you might be really surprised about things that will show up on the silver screen, like maybe some Mandalorian would show up on the silver screen. I remember when they said that and I was like, oh man, that's kind of interesting. And now that I think about this crazy conflict, what if we get like a 2.5 hour, 2 hour and 45 minute movie that is sort of the finale of this whole thing where they do take back Mandalore? Like, come on. Wouldn't that be absolutely epic? I want to know what you think about that. Would you be down for that? Let me know in the comment section below. Now let's shout out Chad Peak. Yes, indeed, Trapper Wolf is the name of Dave Filoni's character in the Star Wars universe. Now let's ask another nerd card question before we get out of here. I want to know, what was the name of the puppet leader that Darth Maul used to rule Mandalore from the shadows? If you like this video, make sure you drop a like on it. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, you're definitely going to want to fix that. We're going to start doing so many videos that you will miss them unless you are subscribed. If you're enjoying the content over here, you will absolutely love the live streams we do straight from Nerdvengers Tower Monday through Friday starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.